gobierno de Trump ahora ya entiende a Moscú. El enviado ruso dice que el gobierno de Trump entiende a Moscú porque se dan cuenta, ¿no?, queda colateral ahora mismo la guerra de Ucrania al lado del lío que tenemos con los aranceles. Pero se sigue avanzando. El enviado ruso ha ido a Washington y prácticamente ni nos hemos enterado. Bueno, pues ya ha hablado.
Well, the biggest story in Washington right now is that neocons are pushing President Trump into a war with Iran. Former UK Ambassador Richard Dalton said this morning that the threat of war with Iran has never been higher. Watch.
How seriously do you take this from President Trump?
I do take it seriously. The risk of a war between Israel and the United States on the one hand and Iran on the other has never been higher. And that's because it's been Israel's aim for many years to strike Iran, and they've always wanted to attract the United States to their side to do it because of limitations in Israel's capabilities, particularly in sustaining a long war. This is chiefly about weakening Iran as a state. Iran...
Yeah. So doing Israel's bidding. That's why Benjamin Netanyahu was in Washington yesterday. Neocons would love nothing more than carrying out Netanyahu's fantasy of destroying Iran. Well, Trump may have just thrown a monkey wrench into those neocon plans. Just yesterday, Iran was, of course, brushing off the idea of sitting down with the United States, saying direct talks were basically pointless because, according to them, Washington can't go 5 minutes without some sort of a threat of military action, which is actually true. We like to do that. But then fast forward to today, and then suddenly the script is totally flipped. And just wait until you see Netanyahu's reaction. It's priceless. On Monday, Donald Trump dropped a surprise announcement that high-level U.S. officials will be meeting directly with Iranian leaders this coming weekend. And they've actually, Iran confirmed this and actually released the date and time of where this was going to happen. Not through a proxy, not through Israel, but directly talking to Iran. He made it clear that the nuclear issue is still front and center, saying flat out that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, even though Trump's own intelligence community says that Iran's not developing a nuclear weapon. And Tulsi Gabbard in front of Congress confirmed that on the record.
And Barack Obama spent 8 years trying to prove it and never did.
Never could.
But sanctioned them to within an inch of their life.
So watch this. He admitted right in front of Netanyahu. And watch, he said, we're gonna be holding talks with Iran this weekend, direct talks. And I don't know, this would look like a total blindside to Benjamin Netanyahu. Watch Benjamin Netanyahu's face when Trump let the cat out of the bag. Watch.
We're having direct talks with Iran, and they've started. It'll go on Saturday. We have a very big meeting, and we'll see what can happen. And I think everybody agrees that doing a deal would be preferable to doing the obvious. And the obvious is not something that I want to be involved with, or frankly, that Israel wants to be involved with if they can avoid it. So we're going to see if we can avoid it. But it's getting to be very dangerous territory. And hopefully those talks will be successful. And I think it would be in Iran's best interest if they are successful. We hope that's going to happen.
He looks like, you ever see that Will Ferrell character where he's like a cat with a ball? He's like it's just like Benjamin Netanyahu's face the whole time.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
You know, in him saying, look, Israel doesn't want a war with Iran, and Netanyahu's like, I do. I've always.
He's like, don't speak for me.
This is the thing I've wanted my whole life. I will want for no more as soon as I get this. But it occurred to me that Trump is actually speaking on behalf of the people of Israel. Sometimes we think that Benjamin Netanyahu represents them. He doesn't. The people of Israel do not want a war with Iran. For the most part, they want peace. Who wouldn't? What crazy person would not, right? And so in that moment, I was like, Trump is a better president to Israel. That he continues to say, I'm the best president Israel has ever had. That might be true if he is able to supersede the war that their prime minister wants so badly.
So watch Netanyahu's face close up when he made this announcement.
We're having direct talks with Iran, and they've started. It'll go on Saturday. We have a very big meeting, and we'll see what can happen. And I think everybody agrees that doing a deal would be preferable to doing the obvious.
Yeah, and as John Spen in our chat says, yeah, that's true, that most Israelis do not support Benjamin Netanyahu. October 7th, he says, was because one half of Israel was out protesting Bibi. Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was the story again that no one was covering in the West, which was the thousands of people across Israel out in protest of Benjamin Netanyahu. And here's the part that should actually be making headlines everywhere. Somehow it isn't. If this breaks down, the threat of another endless war in the Middle East becomes very real. An Iran conflict, especially one backed by the usual neocon voices in Washington, would be catastrophic for the United States, not just for that region as well, but for American forces and America itself. Here's what Tucker had to say about this. Whatever you think of tariffs, it's clear that now is the worst possible time for the United States to participate in a military strike on Iran. We can't afford it. Thousands of Americans would die. We'd lose the war that follows. Nothing would be more destructive to our country. And yet we're closer than ever thanks to unrelenting pressure from neocons. This is suicidal. Anyone advocating for conflict with Iran is not an ally of the United States, but an enemy. And by the way, talk to members of the military, the U.S. military. I was on a flight this weekend and had the pleasure of speaking with a United States member of the Army, and said, oh my God, these guys agitating for war with Iran, they're crazy. They're crazy. It would be devastating. They know it. We know it. Our military experts we've had on this show, like Colonel McGregor and others, have pointed out how devastating it would be. Thousands of miles away, you're going to go right into a hornet's nest. You've got 50,000 American troops that are sitting ducks right now in this region. It would be devastating. But yet you have all these B-2 bombers, which are now have been put on high alert. There are more now in this region than ever before in Diego Garcia as of this morning. So they are agitating quickly to get us into this war.
Have you read the comments on Tucker's post?
On this post, I read a lot of them. Yeah.
Some of them are so crazy. So crazy. People saying, well, we couldn't win a war, so we shouldn't get in it. Yeah. That. People
are like, yes. Oh, Tucker, you don't think we're strong enough to win a war against Iran? No, we're not. We are absolutely not. You want to know what happens if we enter a war with Iran? Russia steps in.
Right.
We've already proven that we cannot win a war against Russia. We've tried for more than 2 years with U.S. arms, and by the way, not even using our own soldiers, using a proxy, and we can't do crap. We've lost massive amounts of territory. We would absolutely lose in a war with Iran.
I don't understand that logic, that even though we know we'd lose, we should do it anyway. Like, should I go do MMA fighting knowing that I'll lose now just to see what it makes of me?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Take those people down. Like, where does that? I don't understand. Please try to.
I'd pay to see that, by the way.
Me too.
I'm pretty scrappy. I might get by for a little bit.
Tiny Hawaiian Latina mix. World face.
Global face.
Global. That would be your ring name. And welcome to the ring, Global Face.
Yep.
You never know.
I've got it.
She might throw a pineapple at you or come at you with something else.
You never know. Okay.
Seguimos en Negocios Televisión, pendientes de la última hora, mirando a los planes de Donald Trump, los planes del Pentágono para retirar tropas en Europa. Un rumor que se viene extendiendo durante las últimas semanas y que podría hacerse realidad muy pronto. El Pentágono estudia retirar 10.000 tropas del este de Europa. Es la última hora en estos momentos con altos funcionarios del Pentágono que están considerando un plan para retirar 10.000 tropas del este. Es lo que informa NBC News este lunes, citando a 6 funcionarios familiarizados con las discusiones. Las unidades en cuestión se encuentran entre los 20.000 soldados que el expresidente Joe Biden desplegó en 2022 para reforzar las defensas en las naciones fronterizas con Ucrania. Según las fuentes, aunque la cifra exacta sigue bajo revisión, el plan preliminar podría implicar la retirada de hasta la mitad de esos refuerzos. Los informes surgen mientras los líderes europeos presionan para aumentar los presupuestos de defensa y avanzar en los planes para una fuerza militar más autónoma, reduciendo la dependencia de la OTAN y Estados Unidos.